For over 10 years, there's been a Titan asleep, waiting to be unleashed. But who has the guts to activate it?
Run.
A triple-headed monster with unheard of power. Are you ready? $3,000 worth of GPU.
Activating three-way SLI. Now. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, we're here, and I'm not sure if there's going to be another part of this video before or not. This is just an update on my personal computer stuff. I've been going so on and on about flipping and reviewing and stuff, and people always ask me, what do you use yourself? And that's a good question. So I don't have a answer for that still. I have my Dell Optiplex Prime, which is still down, and that was the third gen i7 with the 980 Ti. It's been all taken apart. Half of the parts are missing. I made the new test bench rig, which is gonna stay, and there's gonna be a video about that specifically, but there's no computer that's mine, so that's the answer to that question. I've said it before, but somebody just asked me again. They said, what do you use? So I don't use anything because I don't have my own computer. But I wanted to talk about things that I wanted to have or wish to have. And there's always that part that you see that you can't afford. In my case, I started, my first GPU was an EVGA 1060. This is not from the PC, but my first one, which you never saw, was a MSI 6th gen motherboard in some gaming case with a GTX 1060 EVGA. So MSI motherboard, EVGA GPU. And so I've always remembered, you always remember where you came from before you know where you're going. And so I like EVGA, and then I started researching them, and I kept buying EVGA parts as much as I could. They were expensive, some of them. And of course I'm on a budget, so. Then they went out of business, which was sad. And then after that, or no, just before they went out of business, I learned about Kingpin. And Kingpin, I like the way that he does things. If you notice, you have to go back maybe a year ago. Anything that I have, I overclock it until it just won't work anymore. Now, I'm not doing like the liquid nitrogen and all that stuff, but I do what I would consider to be extreme overclocking to a point of what's available. And then when I found Kingpin, I was like, hey, that's me. No, I'm not Kingpin, but I'm just saying. So that's how I ended up doing the fan conversions, putting bigger heat sinks and bigger fans on regular cards, overclocking them to what some people weren't able to do. And I don't do that as much anymore because now it's a PC flip kind of thing. And you can't really make a lot of money overclocking. It's cool to see, but the video, you know, the video is an hour long of you trying to get 2 more megahertz. It's just not that interesting. And yes, this is very dirty because guess what? I actually work on this. So that's what happens. I literally just washed this before I put all the stickers and started the repair and chat series. This was completely clean. And now look, it's all dirty. So I have to find a way to... I did not think that it would get that dirty, and then I put the stickers on it so I can't wash it anymore. So I have to figure that out. Anyway, the subject of this video is... This is my, what I would consider to be my personal card at the moment. I have had a 1060 for a while, a long time. I went to a 980 Ti, and I promised that I was done going up because I will not spend more than $100 on a GPU at this point unless I'm making money off of it or something. It's just, it's my homage to the extreme budget. If I can have a 980 Ti for less than $100, then great. And then if a year later you can get a 2060 for $100, then great. So I'm doing this sort of like slow path of upgrading where it's always going to be under $100 or close to it, maybe a few bucks over. And that's, I made a couple of videos about that. But the thing is, as time goes on, for the same $100, you can get better and better GPUs. So first it was the 1060 that used to be $100, now it's $50. Then I went to the 980 Ti, that was $100, now it's $50 or $60. This is my 1070 now, and just in case you missed the video, the reason why it says 980 Ti is because this had a water cooler on it. So I replaced it with a 980 Ti cooler, which happened to sort of fit. So my total cost for this card is $70. I even posted about it. I said, this is it, I'm done. Like, I really don't need it. I don't really play games, so I don't need anything bigger than this. The power draw is kind of low, which is nice. And the reason why I got rid of the 980 Ti is because it was taking up so much power. But there's a problem here, which I'm sure you know the clues in the beginning of the video. When I was first getting into the 1060s and the 1070s and the 1080s and the 1080 Ti, there was a thing that I kept seeing on YouTube. I didn't know anything about it, but it was called the GTX Titan. And the GTX Titan was a $1,000 GPU at some point. I really don't know anything about it. I watched a bunch of videos and it was always just these major channels reviewing it and saying that it cost $1,000. So, you know, when you go to sleep and you think of what you wish you had, you would say, man, I really wish I could get a Titan. That would be cool. When I looked them up at the time when I first saw them, they were $200 still. And then a few months ago, somebody posted a video saying it was $150. And then I think someone got one for $125. And so in the back of my mind, I always just said, if I could find a Titan for $100, I would buy it. Actually, when I saw it for $125, I was going to buy it, but I had so many GPUs not sold yet, so I didn't pull the trigger. But here it is. And also I made a big mistake. This is a Titan, a $1,000 GPU. And the reason why this interests me, I had the video about the $1,000 Intel 980X, and that's one of my most popular videos because it used to cost $1,000 and I got it for 20 bucks or something. And I like things that used to be cool, even if they're not relevant today. And so the fact that this was at one point $1,000, that's just, it's interesting for just for history purposes. And you can, I mean, if you look up GTX Titan right now, you're gonna see the same videos that I see. They're all from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. That maybe, I think there's one or two that were within the past few months. And then they just kind of say that it sucks because it's old. But here's the mistake that I made. I did not research this card at all. As soon as I heard Titan, I was on the way. So I was messaging this guy about buying the 1060 3 gigabyte. I'm sorry, no, sorry, back that up. He posted the Titan for, I forget what the price was. Dang, I should have wrote that down. It's close to $100. I think he was gonna ask $75 for it. And he kept, what was it? I'll put a screenshot hopefully here so you can see the original ad, but I think it was, maybe it was $100 he started the price and maybe it went. And then I said, well, do you have anything else for sale? And then he said, well, I have the GTX 1060, which is here, 3 gigabyte. And then I have the Dell Inspiron, which was in the last PC flipping video. And then he said, you know what? And this is the crazy part. He said, I have another Titan. I was like, you're shitting me. There's no way. This $1,000 GPU, you just have two of them just chilling in your drawer. And so we agreed to $60 each, so it's $120 for both. And I'm so ecstatic at this point because I'm thinking that I scored the lottery. I'm gonna be a millionaire because I have a Titan for $60. Guess what? This is the wrong Titan. This is what's called the OG Titan. So it's the first one. It's not the one that I was looking at. I was looking at the Titan X. And then there's Titan Z and Titan XP, and there's all these different Titans. I didn't know. I mean, I watched different videos, but the thing is, I just thought they were all just Titans. I didn't know there was several different versions of it. And the reason why I didn't research it in detail is because I thought that I would never get one. So I have two Titans. And yeah, they actually are worth $60 at this point. And so the reason why I wanted to make this video quickly is because I wanted to show you something. First of all, I'm gonna keep this because for $60, it's not worth it for me to sell this ever again, just because it's a piece of history. Unless somebody really needs to have two for SLI or something. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep this. I don't care if I have to work extra hours or whatever just to pay for the $60. It's not worth it to sell it even for $80 because of all of the time that I wish that I had one, and then you just sell it right away. So I wanted to show you this quickly before we go. So that means that I'm going to sell the 1070 for probably $75. It's online, I think, for $100, but I don't think anybody's gonna pay that much. The thing is that this is custom built, so I'm also gonna start keeping track of all the cards that I modify, because if I keep doing it and I modify, you know, 30 different GPUs, it would be interesting to see where this ends up in online lore. You know, this is probably the 8th or 9th one that I've modified, so it would be interesting to kind of label it and say, you know, put my name somewhere on the back or something. Just, you know, 5 years from now, maybe I'll find it again. But it's an excellent card. I love this. Anyway, so $70. This is currently posted online for $60, which is just kind of a typical price. I probably would take $50 for it. And then this is the painted one that I posted about recently. This is the RX 570, 4GB. Now, when I learned about the Titan, I thought, well, the Titan is way better than a 1060, right? That's where I started. Actually, this is much older than the 1060. This is Kepler, it's not even Maxwell. So Kepler is the 700 series, kind of. Maxwell is the 900 series, 980s. And then Pascal is the 10 series. And whatever the next one after that is, there's one more Titan. Whatever it's called, I don't know. There's too many. Anyway. But the point of this is I want to ask you, if each of these cards was $60, which one would you keep? So I don't have a benchmark and all that because that's going to take too long. I did try this one out. It's slower than a 1060. It's decent, but it's slower than a 1060. The drivers don't update anymore. The RX 570 is okay, but it's 4 gig. This is 6 gig, by the way. And I thought all the Titans had more memory, but this is the old one. And so what I was gonna do was I was gonna have this shootout video of these three. But we're not gonna do that because this one sold on Java. This one's probably gonna sell tomorrow. And there's just not enough time. But what would you do? I don't know. The thing is, you can always buy this again, and you can always buy this again. You can't necessarily ever buy this. So I'm gonna keep that. That'll be someday in my personal. This might go in Optiplex Prime. Because it's actually not that big, so it should fit well. And then yeah, and so I like EVGA stuff. It's fun. I have this, which I didn't really make a video about. It appeared in the flipping pickup series. If I had to pick something to keep, it would be this, because I do want to eventually have a thing where everything's EVGA. And this is the cool part, look, see that right there? That's an EVGA sticker, right? This is an EVGA Titan. See the same sticker? Right there. So what I didn't know was, even though all the Titans look the same, they have different brand versions. And I talked to somebody and they said that in those days, you would have partner cards, but they would all look the same. So actually this is not a Founders Edition, even though it looks the same and there's no branding on it. When you put it in the system, it says EVGA and the clock speed's higher. So that's where that should live. And then if you want to be super cool, you can put 2. Although I'm not sure how. Can you put them side by side? Yeah, I mean, how does the air get to the... That's weird. So this is a triple SLI motherboard. And so let's see if we can move this a little bit. Get a better view. But I guess you could put one more right here. And that's why I referenced the Ghidorah or Monster Zero, because it has 3 heads. So potentially you could have 3 Titans in a row. I wish I could do that. I mean, it would only cost me another $70 to get a third one and do a triple SLI setup, but that's just too much. So I have to sell this one to pay for this one. So I'm gonna try and get close to $100 for this one. That will help reduce the cost on this one, and then I'll just keep this. And I don't know if I'll use it right away. And then this motherboard is an X79. I can't use it in the Optiplex Prime because it's too big. So it's just gonna sit there for now, but someday we'll have a $1,000 GPU and a $1,000 CPU. And it might take me months to collect all the parts, but we'll have like the dream setup from whatever time period that was. And hopefully by that time I've sold a lot of this stuff, so I don't have to worry about selling everything. But I'm just really, I don't think this was, how would you even put 3? There's no, this looks insane. Look at, there's no, it goes in, I think. Yeah, there you go. Well, we can mine Bitcoin, I guess. So you have 200 watts, 200 watts. A third one, 200 watts. It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's about my setup. If anybody wants this Titan for any reason, let me know. I think I'm gonna have a hard time selling it. And I might. Actually, I can't even take out the... Now that they're all in, I can't reach the thing to take it out. So last thing about the Titan. So supposedly you could get a backplate for it. I'm not sure if it was for this one or for the other one. But I just want to see, I have this, if it might work. Wait, backwards. This isn't even close. It goes here. So, here. One, two, three, 4. It might fit, but the thing is, I think you would need longer screws for this part, because these just go in. So someday this will be a built Titan, and then I might I was gonna put this type of heatsink setup on here, just because I prefer that. But the thing is, I did some thermal testing. It doesn't really get that hot. I think it hit 80 once. And people say the blower fans are loud, but it was pretty quiet. The thing is, the guy that I bought this from, he didn't use it that much. So if you can see, it's not dusty and old. It's very clean. and he bought them originally, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would want to put this on there, but maybe it's not necessary. Also, the blower style does make it a little more compact, so we'll see. And then this lights up, and supposedly there's a software where you could change the brightness of it. So I don't know. But yeah, oh, I forgot to mention there is a Titan Black, which is this, but faster. So it's the same exact card. The Titan part here is black, and I think, was that black too, maybe? It has black accents. It came out 1 year later, but it's just the same card. So we'll see. Anyway, I guess that's my keeper for now. I did try a few games on it. I tried Fortnite. I tried CS2, and it was it was okay. But the thing is, for my personal computer, I don't really play games, so I mean, I might try it just to try it, but the games are going to be all on the test bench PC. My personal PC, it'll have some games on it, but it's not for gaming, so it's going to be for my new venture, which is, where did it go? Just had it. Did it fall off? 3D printing. So the guy who I bought this from does 3D printing, and he made these little covers for the GPUs. So it goes like this. And he gave me a bunch. And so I asked him if he could make some 3D parts that I want made. And I have 3 or 4 ideas in mind. So the 3D printing software development, I'm gonna try and use Blender, will be on the computer that has this card in it. And so it's just for design, it's not for games. And hopefully that works out. So that's my update. If you want a Titan, reach out to me. There's one available. 2, if you really need to. I guess, I mean, if the thing is, if you had 1 and you wanted 2 more, that would probably make sense. But normally, not too many people want this unless they're just collecting or something. It's not for practical use. And then if you want the EVGA motherboard, that is also for sale. And here it is one more time. And just to clarify, this is not the classified, this is the standard. There's the standard X79 EVGA. There's the For the Win edition, which has, wait, I think, yeah, the For the Win edition has different colored slots and a secondary BIOS. And then the classified has more stuff. I forgot. But yeah, this I'm probably gonna keep for a while. The other cool thing about this motherboard is it shows the CPU temperature here. So if you have a clear side panel, you can just always see the CPU temperature, and that's cool for overclocking. The reason why I'm not really using this is because this is a lower end CPU. This is the i7-4820. And it's okay, but it's not anything to write home about. I need to find a Xeon for this with more cores, and then I'll start using it again. But yeah, long live EVGA. If you're an EVGA fan, comment below. And we'll see you next time.
Powered by EVGA.